and welcome back to another video. I know I said I was going to get this video up before I left for Florida, but that did not happen, and so now we're a few days after I got back from Florida, and I am going to sit here and record this video for you because I promised. But today what we're going to do is a little just sit down Q&A video, answer some of the frequently asked questions that I get on a daily basis. And then I also put a post up and asked you guys for some questions to see if there was anything that you guys were wondering about. And so I'm gonna answer some of those too. And we're just gonna pretty much just jump right into it. So one of the questions that I got, this was actually just a message to me on my real estate Instagram, and that is, how do you contact your SOI? So I'm not the best when it comes to contacting my SOI. I should definitely be a lot better than that. And if you don't know what SOI is, it's sphere of influence. And what that means is just people that already know you, like you, and trust you. So basically friends, family members, and just people that you know. So I guess the main way that I go about contacting my SOI is really through social media. A lot of the times I message people, I'll DM people if I see someone post anything on Facebook in regards to possibly wanting to sell or buy, or any questions about the real estate industry. I'll reach out to them directly. And a lot of people on my social media, specifically on my Facebook, are people that I already do know. But I always just try to make sure that everybody knows that I'm a realtor. So I push out a lot of content, as I'm sure if you guys follow me on Instagram, you will know that. But I'm always posting to my stories of things that I'm doing in the real estate field, whether that be showing a house, going into the office, making phone calls, getting offers accepted, submitting offers, whatever the case may be. I try to stay super relevant so people know that I am a realtor, and that if they are hopefully looking to buy or sell, they can remember that I'm a realtor and that they already know me, so they will most likely or hopefully contact me. And a lot of times if I see someone that gets married on Facebook, or goes through some type of life-changing event, I'll reach out to them directly in direct message to congratulate them and just kind of push it out there that, hey, just so you know, like, I'm a realtor and congratulations on the wedding. And well, I'll say congratulations on the wedding first, and then I'll put it into, hey, I'm a realtor. I know obviously a wedding was a big step for you, but if you are looking to buy a property in the near future, I'd love to help you out. So just kind of staying top of mind for people is one of my biggest pieces of advice, because a lot of times, I can't tell you how many times I have seen people post on Facebook that they just bought a house or that they're selling their house, and these are people that I know, and it's kind of just like a slap in the face, because that's just more or less kind of constructive criticism on me to basically tell me that I was not doing what I was supposed to do, because those people should have bought or sold with me. So main thing is just staying top of mind. I know that kind of deters away from the whole question of how do I contact my SOI, but that's pretty much what I do to make sure that people that already know me remember that I'm a realtor. But other than that, ways are to just bang out some calls that you have people's phone numbers for. So go through your contact list, either call them, text them, specifically for holidays. If it's like Merry Christmas, if Happy Easter is coming up, you can text them Happy Easter, just let you know that I'm a realtor. I'd love to assist you and your buying or selling needs in the near future. Please keep me in mind. And just, it's all comes back down to staying top of mind for these people, because a lot of times they have short attention spans. So it may seem redundant and annoying to keep reaching out or to keep posting content and to keep saying that you're a realtor, but I can promise you that people quickly forget. So that's why you have to do that. The question I got is, how do you lead gen? So I'm with a team who offers leads within our CRM that come from outside sources. So I will do a lot of, I guess, cold calling to those leads that come into our system, who either signed up on our website, clicked a Google ad, Facebook ad, however the lead came to me. I do a lot of those calls. We also have lists of sellers that may be looking to buy. I cold call those people. But a lot of the times, the biggest thing right now is calling expired and withdrawn listing. We have a system that we use to get this information. I know a lot of people ask me all the time, how do you get the information to call these withdrawn and expired listings? If you're within a team, I would definitely talk to your team leader or even your broker to see if they have any type of list that you can go by. There are definitely systems and softwares out there to give you that information as well. But one within just MLS is Remind. I'm not sure if everybody in every state has. I know here in Rhode Island we do. I think Massachusetts does as well, but that gives you, if you pay for it, that can give you that information too. But what I did from before I even had the system that I have now to get this information is I would simply just use MLS, and I would use True People Search, and I'll put that down in the description, but I would use truepeoplesearch.com, and I would reverse lookup. So I would put in a name, and I think it's the city and state that they are in, and then it will pull up their information. If they're sometimes the phone numbers aren't correct, but that's just basically for any software that you would even buy. Not all this, they're not going to be 100% correct. But I would do a reverse lookup on that, and I would call them, and I would go about my script. But the main thing I would say is probably withdrawn and expired listing. So the biggest question I just always get is from new realtors or people who are taking the class, and is, what is your biggest piece of advice, or is there anything that I should know getting into this business, and just what do you recommend for me starting out? And there's a lot of things that I can say, but it really just comes down to you doing the work, for you putting the effort in, for you doing what you're supposed to do to become successful. Because the problem in this industry is that a lot of people think it is a get quick rich business, and I can assure you that is not the case whatsoever. People outside of real estate think that real estate agents pretty much just put a sign in the front of the house or pretty much do nothing and just rack in boatloads of money. And I can tell you, and I can assure you, that is 100% not the case. There's a lot of moving parts that comes to a transaction. Have I had transactions that are super easy and were just seamless from beginning to end? Yes. Do I have transactions that are pretty much going down the drains, or went which way and sideways, and it took a lot of negotiating and a lot of effort to get to the closing table? Yes. Am I still dealing with clients who are having issues on closings that happened in the past that were out of anyone's control or out of my control that I'm still dealing with? Yes. So you really have to enjoy this job to technically be good at it, because it can be very easily a job where you can get burnt out in, you can get very aggravated, you can get discouraged. But my biggest piece of advice is that the first year is going to be the hardest. The second year is definitely hard too, but the first year, especially as a new agent, is very, very, very tough, because the real estate industry is definitely saturated. Here in Rhode Island, we only have like 700 houses on the market with like 6,000 realtors, whatever the number is. So we're all in competition with each other, and there's just not enough houses for realtors to sell. So it's definitely a job that you just have to put a lot of effort and consistency into to do well in. It's not something that you can sit back and hope that leads are going to fall in your lap. A lot of people think that they're going to get their license and everybody that they know is going to start reaching out and calling them and saying, hey, so you have your license, I want to buy a house, can you help me? Or hey, so you have your license, I want to sell my house, can you help me? No. Chances are those people are not going to use you unless you reach out to them and make sure that they know that you are a realtor. But my biggest piece of advice is just don't get discouraged, and to stay consistent with what you are doing to get the business, because it will eventually come. It's just going to take some time. It's not something that's going to take a month or two. It could potentially take you a year to start seeing the business roll in. But it's going to happen if you stay consistent and you keep up doing what you're supposed to do in order to get that business. Specifically for new agents, I always just recommend going onto a team and don't become a solo agent, because a team is going to give you the resources and the tools to help you succeed. Whereas a solo agent, you need to kind of figure it out on your own. This industry in this time is very difficult to be a solo agent. So I just highly recommend associating yourself with the team, because I've said it before, you can use the team as your leverage, especially when you're in a high producing team. People know who that team is. They want to work with that team. So being associated with a very good, reputable team is going to just help you in all aspects of this business, whether that be getting offers accepted, just having the business roll in, having a good CRM, having a good lead generation software. you are just going to set yourself up for success if you associate your people who are already successful. So that's what I say there. Another question I get is, how do you come up with your reels that you make on your Instagram? And I pretty much just look through reels on Instagram of other realtors and kind of get ideas and stuff from them, to be honest with you. Sometimes I come up with things like right off the spot, like off the top of my head, and I'm like, oh, I need to make this reel. But a lot of the times what I do is I just scroll through Instagram, I save some reels that pique interest for me, or a song that I think that, or like a song background thing that I can come up with my own content for. I don't technically rip off and duplicate, but I will sometimes take some ideas from other people and just kind of plug it into my own way of doing things. But another way is Pinterest. Pinterest also has some good ideas. And then Coffee and Contracts, or Coffee and Contracts, they're software that I think it's a monthly subscription that you have to do. But they give you a lot of good content ideas if you're not good with coming up with content on the spot. They also give you really good reel ideas. They have an Instagram that you can follow too, and this is nowhere sponsored by them, but it's just a company that I use. I like to give credit to them just because I do use them, so I would highly recommend following them. Keeping Current Matters is another good one too. They have a lot of good content that they push out that you can, you know, make into your own content to put on your social media or to share it. But a lot of people share it all the time. I just kind of like having my flow of things work on my Instagram. So I will take that information from Keeping Current Matters, and I use Canva, and I will make my own type of post. But pretty much those are my ideas of content creating. And then to go to another question about content creating is, how did I grow my Instagram? Now, I by all means do not have a lot of followers on Instagram at all. I have about almost 3,300 followers on my real estate Instagram, and I have a little over 11,000 on my personal Instagram. The funny thing is my personal Instagram really does not grow as fast or as well as my real estate Instagram anymore, and I think it's because I do a lot more reels and I stay more consistent with my reels on my real estate Instagram. So I think reels is kind of where Instagram wants to see, or reels is what Instagram wants to see. So if you keep doing those if you keep making reels consistently, I feel like they keep pushing your content out more, and so I'm getting a lot more traction for that. I have a lot of people who have been sharing my content or sharing my reels because they like them. And if they share it, now I have exposure to all of their followers, and if one of their followers share it, then I have all exposure to their followers. So it's really just becoming a domino effect and like a trickle effect. So that's really how it's been happening. I mean, honestly, I think about a month ago, I've had like 1,000, 1,500 followers. So I gained about 2,000 within the past maybe 2 months or so, but it was just like one reel that I made that pretty much kind of went viral. Not viral, but I got over 100,000 views on it and a few thousand likes on it, and like my Instagram does not go that crazy ever, so to me that's kind of viral compared to what my typical normal exposure and engagement. But it just takes like that one reel or that one post to be something of value to people that people like, that they keep sharing, and then you're just going to start gaining that traction from them, and your Instagram is just going to grow. I just daily am receiving more and more followers, and on the day I'm just getting more and more people to share my content. So the more I pushed out valuable and good content or funny content or things that people want to look at, they're going to keep sharing my posts, and that's just how I get more engagement and how I get more exposure, and more people are going to follow me. So it's all about the consistency, and it's all about just pushing out valuable content. You don't want to be redundant. You don't want to just keep posting like sold, under contract, or this or that. Like, I like to push out content that people would be interested in, funny content, just anything that will draw the attention in, rather than people just like, oh, just another random post and scroll by me. So another question that I get is, what did I do before I became a real estate agent? I was a real estate paralegal prior to me becoming a real estate agent. I worked for a closing and attorney's office, and I did that for about 6 years. I worked for a couple different attorneys, and I also did it down in Florida too. But I pretty much processed a file from beginning to close. That would be ordering title, clearing title. I drafted CDs, matched them with the lenders, scheduled appointments with buyers and sellers to come into the office to sign documents. So I basically got the file after the offer was accepted, and the file ended from when, and then I kept that file until the actual closing. So I enjoyed working for an attorney's office, but I knew I wanted to work with them on a more personal level. So that's why I decided to get my real estate license and pursue that, which I have been doing for about 4 years now. But I think I'm gonna end the video here, guys. I hope you really enjoyed this little Q&A that I did for you. And I'm gonna get more content out there for you. I swear, I promise. I know I say it every time, but I know I will this time. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and I will see you in the next one.